One of the more classic tests is to test the vendor to employee master files and looking at either name or address. In this test we're going to be looking at the address field and also taking a look at doing joins in different ways to get different and better results. So first off, we're going to calculate a couple of expressions, or in this case a address field where it'll just be the first 30 characters that are numbers only, so just the numbers, and then the other one is just 8 characters within the address. So the first 8 characters in the address, regardless if they're numbers or letters or blanks or what have you. And then we're going to kind of do that join on the vendor to employee file, but in 2 different ways. I want to show the differential of doing it in a normal joined fashion and then in a many-to-many fashion. So heading over into ACL, we can take a look at the VEN payr script. And while it will have a dialog up front, which we will run, and it will ask us some questions, I wanted to get into the couple of calculations that are done below here. So in first case, I'm taking the vendor fields and I'm calculating what are going to be fields that have only the numbers in there, as well as the first 30 of that, and then the first 8 characters of that address field, regardless what's in there. And I'm utilizing the remove function in this first more useful test here, where we're basically taking the address field, which is set up here as the number field V as address field, and we're going to remove everything but 0, 1 through 9. Now, as an alternative to the remove function, we can just do this right here. We can use the include function. That is a change in recent versions of ACL, going from that. And then after that, we're going to use the sub function of that field above that was calculated, only numbers. And that sub will calculate from the first character to the 30th character, or 30 characters of numbers. You probably don't need 30 in character. You probably could work with maybe 10 or so. And also, I hope that this, looking at these 3 or 4 expressions, helps you to think about how you could use this elsewhere. One thing that you might want to do to edit the script a little bit better is we can take that include function and include it down in the sub function down below. So if I say include, and we just put a comma here, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Just got to be a little careful with the commas here, and then close bracket. That include function will only include numbers here. Now, what I could do is continue, further into this and add all of the, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and just have all of the letters of the alphabet here as well. And then this would only include numbers and letters, first 8 characters. So again, just showing you some variations here of calculated fields that you can make between the vendor and the employee file. Once you've done that, we're pretty much then joining these files in a few different ways and getting some results. So let's run this script. I'm not going to save what I did, and I'm going to run the payr script. So the application will match the address field with the vendor field. And let us select now the vendor master file and the employee master file, vendor address, and employee address. Does some calculations, and I want you to just notice this one report here where we have 2 matches. We have 7 Wall Street. We'll go over to the right here. We have 7 Wall Street that is matching up with an employee of 7 Sunset Lane. Notice this match, when done, let me go back into that VEN payr program. When we look at the join statement down below here, notice this is a normal matching join statement. So if I were to take, say, the paid invoice file and join this to the vendor master file just for argument's sake. In the more options you have include all primary, include all secondary, unmatched, many-to-many. What I did in this first test in VEN payr is what we're only doing is just for those matched items. So we're doing no primary, no secondary, no unmatched, nothing like that. And notice when we get a result, we're only getting that one matching item. So that brings us to a point of the many-to-many matching in ACL, and something that I've built a script so that you can run this in a many-to-many fashion, what we just did, and you will get a different result. You know, the problem is if I take the primary vendor table and join that to the secondary employee table, this 7 Wall Street will match up to 7 Sunset Lane, which it did in the analysis. However, these 2 other records in the employee table that might match don't come through. And you know, this could have been 7 Wall Street, and that would have been a good match. However, we would have never seen it, because in essence the many-to-many match does not stop at the first join. It will join every one, and also from a secondary match point of view as well, it'll join those back to the primary. So it's many-to-many. So when I go back into ACL, we have the VEN payr updated for the many-to-many, and if I double click on that, the only difference in this script at this point is in the join command, at the end of it we put the word many. So that's done in every join statement down below as you go, and that many-to-many match, let's just run this one quickly here, as you notice, will give us a much different result. So by selecting all of the vendor files and vendor and employee address files, if I go back to that address number join that used to only have the 7 Wall Street, we now have all 3 7 Wall Streets matching up to the 7 Sunset, Dimension, and New Star lanes. This completes the testing, and I would suggest that you use many-to-many matching on any vendor to employee type testing that you're doing, because you will find obviously many more and proper matches than you ever would from the standard joining type processes.